Hello everyone, welcome back to our Solidworks course. In the previous video, you were introduced to repairing geometries and how you can repair sketches in order to rectify your geometries. In this video, we would be taking up an exercise to learn more about repairing geometries. So let's not waste any time over here and move to Solidworks so that we can learn how to repair a geometry. Here I've opened the geometry that we would be working with in this video. This geometry would be provided to you in your resource materials. In order to create any changes in your geometry or rather to rectify any problem in your geometry, it is always a good practice to first roll back this rollback bar up to the feature that you want to rectify. In this case, we would be rectifying a first feature as it is having problems in the first one itself. If I click on this over here, you can see that this warning or rather this error over here tells me that the sketch cannot be used for a feature because an endpoint is wrongly shared by multiple entities. So this tells me that there is an issue with your sketch. This could also be read by right clicking on this feature and clicking on what's wrong. Here this pop-up tells me the same message over here. The sketch cannot be used for a feature because an endpoint is wrongly shared by multiple entities. So by this, we can infer that there is a problem with the sketch which is causing an issue with creating the base extrude. For that, I will press close first, right click on this and go to edit sketch. I will press Ctrl 8 so that it is into the normal to mode. Now here I can understand what is the problem. For that, I will go to Tools. In Sketch Tools, I will select this option that says Check Sketch for Feature. What this will do is that it will check the sketch and tell us if it is appropriate for a feature. In our case, we have to check it for a boss extrude. It has already taken the feature over here. If I click on Check, here it is telling me that the sketch cannot be used for a feature because an endpoint is wrongly shared by multiple entities. To try to fix this, right now click OK. If I click on OK, here you can see that with a circle over here it has zoomed in on our issue. This is the issue over here. An extra line has been created over here like this. No problem. We will first click on close over here and then close our pop-up that was shown over here, and this entity over here has been highlighted. Once it is highlighted, I will simply press delete and delete this entity. Now if I press F on my keyboard, this will set it into the fit to screen mode. Now we can see that our geometry is fine, there are no issue, it is fully defined. Let's now get back into the 3D mode and let's see if this boss extrude would be generated. I will press Ctrl Q, I will press Ctrl 7 to set it into the isometric mode, and here you can see that the red cross over here has been removed, telling me that the problem from this feature has been rectified. Once this has been rectified, we will move to our next feature. For that, I will simply roll forward this bar up to my next feature. Here you can see that this feature now possesses no issue. We will move to the next feature, that is the vertical plate. Yes, there is an issue over here as we are being given a warning sign. This yellow sign is a warning sign and the red cross that we were seeing over here was an error. In a warning sign, the part would be generated like this, but in case of that red cross, your feature would not be generated, as you had noticed in the start. For this, let's click on it. I will right click on it and click on what's wrong. Here, we can read what's written over here. I will enlarge it a bit. Okay, it is not enlarging this text, not an issue, we will read it from here. This says, this sketch contains dimensions or relations to model geometry which no longer exist. Consider deleting the dangling sketch entities shown dashed in the dangling color, editing the model to restore the missing model geometry. Again, we have inferred that our problem is lying in the sketch. I will right click on this feature, go to edit sketch, and once we are into the sketch mode, I will press Ctrl 8 to set it into the normal to mode. Once you have done this, you can clearly see over here that this 85 dimension is in yellow, telling me that this dimension has some sort of an issue. This could also be found out from another method. I will go to the display delete relations over here And in this display delete relation, there would be this dimension highlighted in yellow, telling me that there is some issue with this. I can simply first click this dimension, delete it, or I can try to rectify it. If I delete it, it would be completely deleted and I have to specify the value or rather the dimension of the center from any of the points over here. Let's try to edit this value now. I will first click on OK and exit the display delete relation command. Here I will zoom in, click on this 85. And now as this dimension is now clearly defined, you can see that we have this red dot over here. I will click on this red dot and move it up to this line over here. You can see that a yellow coincident relation is being shown, telling me that this would snap, that this endpoint here would snap on this edge over here at the bottom. The edge is also being highlighted in dotted orange lines. You can see them by observing it carefully. If I leave my mouse over here, you can see that now this dimension has been snapped at this bottommost edge, and also the dimension has been changed automatically to accommodate the distance between this center point and this bottommost edge. By doing this, we have solved the issue of dimensions. You can see that now all the dimensions are in black, and here we can see that the sketch is now fully defined. Once we have rectified the issue in this sketch, I will press Ctrl Q, exit the sketch, rebuild the part, press Ctrl 7, set it into the isometric mode. Here you can see that we have rectified the problem in this feature over here as well. Next, I will roll forward my bar up to my next feature. There is no issue with this plane. Next, I will roll forward. Again, there is no issue with this feature. If I roll forward again, you can see that here there is some issue. I will again right click on it and click on what's wrong. Here again, it is telling me this sketch contains dimensions or relations to model geometry which no longer exist. Consider deleting the dangling sketch entities shown dashed in dangling color, editing the model to restore the missing model geometries. Okay, we again have inferred from this information that there is some issue with our sketch. I will close it, right click on our feature, go to edit sketch, and if I press Ctrl 8, if I zoom in over here, you can see that this line has some issue. Let's take a look at what is the issue. We'll go to display delete relations, and here if I click on some other relation, you can see that this is the relation that is having a problem. That is the collinear relation. If I click on this, you can see that this line had been given a collinear relation and maybe some edge has been lost. For that, I can delete this and again give it, but let's take a look at another way of doing it. I will now simply click on this line over here, and here you can see that again a red dot is being shown. I will move the red dot on this edge over here, and once I have moved it on this edge, you can see that the relation or the collinear relation that was giving me an issue has been resolved, and this line is again shaded in black, telling me that the issue has been resolved. If I go to display delete relation, you can see that this collinear command over here, that is this one, okay, yes, this is the command, has now been resolved, and it is in a white background and not highlighted in yellow. Again, we have resolved this. We can press Ctrl Q, rebuild our part, exit the sketch mode, press Ctrl 7 in order to set it into the isometric mode. We have also resolved the issue for this feature over here, that says rib under. Next, I will roll forward this again a bit. This has added a wall thickness. This is nothing but here it was adding a shell feature. Next, I will move ahead and add this counter bore. This counter bore has no issue as well. Let's move to the next pattern. This pattern has no issue. Again, I will roll forward a bit. Here we can see that there is an issue with the fillet. I can move my mouse over it, or I can simply right click on it, select what's wrong, and here it will tell me. It tells me that the radius of the fillet is too large to fit the surrounding geometry. It may be too large because it cannot fit within a tightly curving face near the selected edge, or it would be inappropriately eliminating an adjacent face. Try adjusting the input geometry and radius values by using the face fillet option. I will close it, and here I will right click on it and go to edit feature, because from reading the note over there, we understood that it is the fillet feature that is causing an issue. Here it told me that the fillet radius was too large, and yet here if you read here, this is literally too large. We will change this to, let's say, 10 millimeter radius, press enter, and now here we can see that a preview is being shown of how the fillet would be added. Now that a preview is being shown, this would definitely be solved. I will click on OK and exit the fillet command. Now you can see that a fillet has been added over here, and this issue over here has been resolved. I will press Ctrl 7, set it into the isometric mode, and roll forward to add my next feature. Now, after roll forwarding to the last feature over here, we can see that there is no warning or error in any of the features over here, telling me that all the issues that were in this model have been resolved. I hope you understood how can you read the problem that is being caused in your feature or sketch by right clicking on any of the feature and going to what's wrong. It will exactly tell you where the problem lies. You have to just read it, interpret it properly, and then solve your issue. I hope the method of resolving issues in your 3D model is clear. You have to first roll back to the component where the problem lies, and then again slowly start resolving all the issues further. I hope you understood how do we repair our geometries, and it was a fun exercise. I will see you in the next one. Thank you.